Welcome, detectives. Love does not exist. Well, romantic love doesn't. You will probably never find your soulmate. Now that these tough statements caught your attention, let me elaborate on why the mere concept of romantic love should be banished from today's society. First, we have to ask ourselves this question: when was love invented? The term romance has its origins in the medieval ideal of chivalry. As shown in chivalric romantic literature, romance is a literary genre that originated in France in the mid-12th century, and it is defined by its depiction of chivalry. Many prose works from classical antiquity, the so-called Greek romances, had predecessors, but it developed as a distinct form in the aristocratic courts of patrons like Eleanor of Aquitaine. I have an entire video dedicated to Eleanor of Aquitaine's life, therefore I will leave the link down below, so if you want you can check on that later. Due to poor decision making, the ancients were skeptical of romantic love's usefulness. Instead, it was treated like a sort of illness, an unpleasant ailment that we all had to go through and conquer at some point in our lives. The Iliad and Romeo and Juliet, for example, were not love stories in the traditional sense. They were cautionary tales about love's destructive potential, about how romantic love had the potential to destroy everything. It's impossible to talk about romance without considering marriage. Many professionals with a special knowledge of love, such as couple counselors, historians, and many others, have leaped to the conclusion that marrying in love is something recent. Marriage used to be more of an strategically pivotal institution. Mark Manson, on his article about love and why it quote-unquote sucks, believes that marriages were a purely economic arrangement designed to promote the survival and prosperity of both extended families. So if Junior gets tingled in his pants and wants to run away with the milkmaid across town, it wasn't just an inconvenience. This was a legitimate threat to the community's survival, and it was treated as such. In fact, this kind of behavior was so treacherous in young individuals that most ancient societies punished these emerging lovebirds. As Q2022 argued on her YouTube video named "We Need to Talk About Romantic Love and Why It's So Horrible," which I encourage you to watch.
Not to say that the kind of love we call romantic love did not exist at all before the 18th century. But guys, Romeo and Juliet were rich. Orpheus and Eurydice were demigods. The run-of-the-mill commoner did not have time for this nonsense.
News on 1997 looked at how love discourses in American and Western culture have evolved throughout time. These developments are significant because of the world's globalization. But before diving deep, let's go back to the Victorian era. During the Victorian era, love, including romantic love, was inextricably linked to religious speech, particularly Christian discourse. Love was regarded as a holy quest that may lead to self-knowledge, the overcoming of undesirable, sinful tendencies, and the elevation of the soul. Some historians argued that passionate love replaced Christianity as a new kind of religion between the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, when religion became a less significant focus of Western society. And on May 2015, it makes a similar case for the role of love in modern Western life, viewing love as a new god. And according to Beck and Beck Gershenheim, in 2015, showed how modern love's idealization has led us to assume that in order to reach pure true love, we must sacrifice other crucial ties. These authors show how important love is in modern civilizations, as well as how intensely it is wanted and pursued. Another component that aided romantic love's great effect in Americans' lives was the association of romantic love and marriage with happiness. In the early 20th century, representations of love in literature and film reinforced this image of love as a source of personal happiness and as a way of self affirmation. It's difficult to experience genuine romance in the 21st century since everyone is so reliant on technology. With that being said, the perceptions of what true romance is have shifted, or at least shifted. Women no longer want to be the damsel in distress or rely on a man to look after them. Now we have these feminist movements that have improved on women's personal pursuits of happiness. Now we will move on to another concept that is recent, which is relationship goals. Relationship goals are behaviors or partnerships that demonstrate a level of intimacy that someone desires in their own relationship. These goals might be serious or light-hearted, and the term is frequently used in social media comments. The problem with this is that influencers and celebrities on social media continue portraying this idea of romantic love to show how successful and healthy their relationships are. This appeals to the viewers. The average comments you will find on this relationship goals type content are going to be, wow, I wish I could meet my perfect match and do all these things with them too. Or even statements like, wow, if they break up, I'm gonna stop believing in love. Or, wow, they're great together. The comments admiring these relationship goals, as so called. Well, there are countless videos about how perfect life in real life relationships can be. Of course, I'm not calling out against this content or suggesting to show only negative aspects. What I suggest is being more realistic about romance. Do not live up to what you find on the media. 7 billion is on earth, and not everyone will certainly find a healthy relationship at first attempt. Therefore, we should be able to move on when things are not working. And to conclude, people are still looking for the idealized idea of love. And it is quite understandable. Human beings are social animals. Most individuals dream of their perfect companion and attempt to pursue this happiness at all cost. Is it wrong? No, of course not. But we would have saved ourselves many heartbreaks if we would stop idealizing other imperfect humans, reject the men to be approached. Therefore, a quote-unquote successful relationship starts when both parties are able to accept when any of each wants to break up, because detachments are safer than that awesome feeling of being head over heels and wanting to be together forever. Forever is not granted, and therefore we should all eradicate that idea of the perfect love story. By the moment that you accept and let go of the things you cannot change, such as someone else's feelings towards you and how the feelings might change, then you'll be happy and free from toxic codependence to enjoy of a better life. Please like and subscribe to this channel if this video was informative for you. You can also comment on the comment section below the topics that you would like me to research about. Again, thanks for watching, detectives.